Hello YouTube, FIFA here, coming at you today with a FUT Market Watch on this Friday evening for me. I know that they usually try to get these up Wednesday, but I have had finals. I finally finished up with them yesterday, and they went well. I mean, you never know how that stuff really goes until the grades get posted, am I right? I mean, you'd like to think they went better than not, but it just means also that I'm coming to an end of my study abroad semester in Milan. Only have a couple days left, so I've been packing a lot today, and I've been watching that FUTchamps finals while I've been doing it, and it's actually pretty interesting. Really enjoyed that from FIFA. Really excited about that. Gonna try to get more involved in that next year. It might be easier when I have my console and I'm really more invested in the gameplay rather than being abroad and really just trying to enjoy the culture and atmospheres of different places and whatnot. But that's a spiel that's getting away from the point. Today is the release of these BPL team of the seasons, everything that people are waiting for. I've already opened some packs, didn't really get much in it. That's why you can see that I only have one at the top. It's a team of the week player that I think I'm going to open next Wednesday or whenever I think the best one is. It probably next Wednesday, considering that Sun might get one. But we're going to go through some general market advice and going to talk about the team of the weeks and the one to watch as usual. But I'm also going to throw in some team of the season chat from all the ones that I missed, like the most consistent teams and the EFL. So I'm really excited for the content to bring out to you guys today. This is the time of FIFA where everything's coming to a head, really culminating in a good year that they've had. I think if FIFA or if EA can build on this FIFA, then they're in for a long line of successful games. I know I'm excited. A lot of good stuff to talk about in the future, which is always helpful for YouTube channels like myself, even though, I mean, I'm relatively small, so like, who really cares about why it's FIFA? But just, I know that you guys do, considering that their support from you guys lately has been immense, so keep it up. All right, as usual, we're going to go first to FUThead, and that's just showing you guys the main screen here. They're streaming the champs. Ooh, someone scored here. Oh, wow. Marlet is up 2 on hashtag TOTS. That is kind of a big deal, considering that hashtag TOTS, it was one of the favorites at the beginning. So hopefully he can pull it back. I really enjoyed them playing. The games have been really interesting these past couple of rounds, but I think they could have actually, it's 8:40 here that I'm giving you guys this time in Milan, and that means it's 8:40 in Berlin too, which means it's a long day of FUT because these guys have been balling since 12, so maybe they could break that up next year. But why do I keep talking about the FUT champions? I don't know. I've just really enjoyed it. Let's get into the actual market review. So here you go. Here's the team of the week from last week, team of the week 34. And the reason I cover these guys is just because these are sometimes good players to trade and whatnot. It's fresh in everybody's mind. So the first one that I can see, or the first few that I see here that are going to be really solid to trade are this Yinyak and this Garay for squad builder challenge investments. Not necessarily trade like batch trading. For that, I would have to say that Selapur and De Rossi are probably the best for those. Maybe Forrester down here, but you got to be careful with some of these players because they might get team of the seasons. Timo Werner, Modeste, Schmeichel, Lamar. You're looking at team of the seasons for them. Who else? I mean, of course, Mertens, Dzeko for sure. So, and maybe Sal's an outside shot there. Maybe Evra too, outside shot. He's having a really good second half of the season for them, but I don't know if he's going to get included because Sidibe seems to have that on lock, or Mendy or Kurzawa. But looking at the bench here, some other good players to trade out of this. Izquierdo, look at that pace. That's always nice. You can always pick him up probably because he's going to be close to discard, considering that a lot of people were opening packs for team of the season most consistent. So these players are going to be really cheap. So Izquierdo, good card to pick up for cheap. And then silver-wise, got to be careful because of the silver requirements. I'll touch on that in a bit when I talk about the team of the season most consistent silvers in EFL. But Pasquato, good player to trade here. He's got a little bit of stamina issues that bring him down, but looks like a solid enough player to trade anyways. Maybe Engvall too at the end there. Sapong looks like he's got a well-rounded overall stat, but like I said, Pasquato is probably the best to trade out of those players. So let's move over to this week's team of the week, and that is team of the week 35, my favorite number. We got the hero count in there and Robin. Got to maybe match those guys up at some point, but a really solid team of the week this week. Good to have in packs alongside. Really good to have in packs alongside the team of the season BPL. Too bad Coutinho didn't get a team of the season, but that makes okay sense because he missed a decent amount of time on the injured list. But this is another one where you got to be careful when you're going to invest in some of these players because of possible team of the seasons. Falcao's got a shot there. Callahan's got a shot at the team of the season for the Jonas and Neymar. Let's look at the bench. Maybe we got some other people down here. Maybe Zuma the outside chance of getting a call in there. I'm not sure. I haven't been watching Lucas as much, but I'll get into some of the players I think are good. The best players to trade during the week. I love to trade the silvers or the bronze during the week because people don't really know their price, so the volatility is higher. And what I mean by that is the price, you can buy lower and sell higher because the price fluctuates a lot. So you can buy for low and put them up for buy nows overnight or whatnot for high, and they will get bought, so you've been making the most profit. The first one I have to say for that is Yabo. Look at that. Yabo, if you're a Chicago Cubs fan, then you know there's something along that line, but other than that, I hate the Cubs. I'm a Cardinals fan, but 80 pace, all above 70 here. Really good card, really especially for a center mid. Miram having a really good season with the Major League Soccer. He's gonna get a all-star or team of the season MLS eventually, but that's like a month or two out. So this could be a really good card to trade in the meantime. And then Kawashima looks really good here. Too bad these two guys are not the best. I mean, it's not like McGrath is the worst, but he's not looking that good. So let's get into the regular gold players that are going to be interesting to trade this week. I mean, Jagielka going to be really solid for SBCs. I think there's going to be one more last player of the month for the BPL, so he could be pretty useful for that. Callahan maybe with that 84, because there's going to be a lot of these players that are going to be packed. So the prices for these players are going to be really low compared to a lot of other team of the weeks. Nacho Fernandez possibly for a cheap SBC thing, but if we're going to go SBCs, Zumba is definitely a good player there. And once Lucas's price stables out, look at that, 95 pace, 88 dribbling. This is a really good card that could be used. And Batsui, the god, the legend on Twitter, getting his card after what he tweeted. But now let's get into the team of the season, most consistent that I missed at first, the bronze players. Only a few of these really stand out to me. I mean, of course, I love playing with bronzes. I'll probably play with a lot of them, but the ones that stand out to me the most are Maguire, Hogan. I'm going to try to build some teams with some of these players eventually for sure. And then on the bench, we get Wheeler and Akande. They look really good. Dehaud, or I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. I can't really get it. He'd say it with a French accent, but he has a really good stats except for a little bit of low stamina. But mostly you're going to be looking at Wheeler, Akadine, and Maguire and Haugen. Those are the best players. This guy's got a lot of hype around him in real life, so hopefully he turns out to be a really good player. But the bronze team, not everybody's favorite, but silvers here, these are going to be some really solid cards to trade. Hernandez here stands out immensely. He's already going for a crap ton because of the weekend league requirements. And then I think next week, I'll touch on the weekend league requirements next week, or the weekend league tournaments next week, because those actually have a lot to do now that you can get a player. So the players' prices that are needed for those requirements are going to go way up. So I'll touch that in the general market advice in a little bit. But Caputo looks really good. Maitai, or Mete, I just thought it was funny to say that. Miete looks really good. Look at that stat. He looks like a silver Conte, and I mean, he's not in the worst league to link up. Carey looks nice here as well. Salmonson, 90 pace, always standing out, looking like a good card. Let's get to the bench here. Some really solid center backs here. Hasawi looks really nice with that 77 pace, 81 defending, and 89 physical. That's nuts. Let's see who we can. I mean, it'd be exciting to see who you can link him up with when the Saudi League team of the season gets released too. We got Hayes over here, looking really nice with that 91 pace. Always nice to see Irish players get some good love here. Zahid looks perfect to match up with that Haugen. I think I might do that eventually. And then Nakamura, the legend here from the J League. Really excited to see this card. I'm definitely going to use him because you know how much I love the Japanese players. If you don't, go ahead and check out my Road to a Million from earlier in the season. But now let's get to the gold players. Let's get to this finally some big player or big time cards here. I'm already getting high on the thing on my list, but luckily I don't have as much to talk about in the other hands because the one to watch market is dead. But Vieira looks really solid. The two Portuguese wingers looks nuts. This whole team looks nuts with no player under 87. The people on the bench are not necessarily the best here, but Jorgensen looks good. Janssen looks good. Campagna looks good. All these players, I'm just going to give you general advice for them, because all these players are close to selling towards their discard. And there has been some rumors or some talks that there's going to be a possible SBC that involves these players. So maybe you want to pick up a couple of these for investments, because worst comes to worst, you discard them or sell them on overnight for a few hundred coin profit or a little bit of loss. You're not taking much. That's pretty much a risk-free investment. So go ahead and check out and maybe pick up some of these low-rated players, really, really solid players nonetheless. So give them a few games or whatnot. Sanson, not Sanson. Sunday, my bad. Senson looks really good. Fazio, I wish his pace was better. He's had a great season. Pereira looks like a tank. Carvajal and Vieira, that'd be a great matchup on a wing. Getting just some really good ideas for squads. But at the same time, that's just because I'm really excited to finally get back and give you some gameplay. And now let's go to the big boys, the BPL. I didn't get the EFL, but the EFL Silvers right now, you got to be careful with them. I'm just going to touch on this now because they're going for a lot right now because of that weekend league requirement. So do not buy them now, but buy them in a little bit when buy them in the next couple of days, like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, when all the players are offloading them and the panic selling. They're going for really low because that's when they'll be the best deals. But these boys just came out in packs and they look godly. They're all walkouts. That is nuts to me. They're all walkouts. I think the lowest rated player is 89 overall, but I mean, it's EA and the BPL. Like, what are you going to do? That Kyle Walker looks dope. Something that's interesting with this, I'm not going to go through all these players because there's no point. I was looking at these prices a little bit earlier, and a lot of these players are trading for really low compared to what you would expect from players of this quality. And the thing is, something that might be interesting is because there's so many packs being opened, you might want to buy a couple of these players now when all of that hype and packs opened now, because then come the next week or later when not as many packs are being opened, the prices for these players could climb again. And this is where we're going to be making the money, considering that every other player's prices in this league, most likely, and all the other leagues when they get their team of the seasons, are going to be going down just because of complementary goods. There's so many good players on this year with all the special cards that players' prices are going to be lower than a lot of people expect. And because of that, they're going to be dropping these players for panic sell price. So pick them up. All right, we're getting into 11 minutes already. So let's go to FUTbin, just get you some coverage of the markets as a whole. And right now I'm showing you guys this live graph because the market is down 20%, which means that players' prices have dipped around 20%. That's probably exaggerated. That is mainly because of a lot of the packs being open. And I show you guys the live graph right here. I usually show you this daily graph. Just going to click it over here. But players' prices have leveled out, but that is because of the expectations for this packs. Now that's going to start to plummet a little bit more, so don't be surprised if you see that. Now we're getting to the special market. The special market stayed relatively similar. That's just because people are trying to hedge bets for possible SBCs and whatnot. I definitely think there's going to be a lot of SBCs coming out soon that might have special requirements, but their players' prices are going to be going down because of that substitute good. I think I said complimentary earlier. I meant to say substitute. There's so many players in this game that can be used than other players. So that's why there's so much competition and prices, and that's why it's so much cheaper this year. I meant to say substitute. God, come on, wise. But we're here at the one-to-watch market. This is pretty much dead, guys. I mean, you can pick up a lot of these one-to-watch players for extremely low right now because people are panic selling their investments. I have a few one-to-watches that I'm going to lose a bunch of money on unless miraculously there's a squad builder challenge that involves one-to-watch or something. But if that's not the case, which most likely it won't be, just going to take the loss. It was a fun investment while I could have sold them off when I could have. But unless you have some high-rated players or maybe some youths, because like if there's going to be some summer tournaments, World Cups or whatnot, the youth players are still going to be maybe interesting. So those are the only players that you really want to invest in or take some gambles on the next one or on this next week where a lot of the weeks end. But other than that, one-to-watch market is dead because team of the seasons already kill that because they don't get upgraded with the team of the season. Lastly, Legends here. There's so many packs being opened on the Xbox that Legends prices are going to fall dramatically because there's going to be more Legends getting packed just out of process. And because of that, Legends prices have already been low, and I cannot see them getting any higher because now they're just going to be more on the market. So the players' prices are going to be low, low, low. And so that's going to bring me to the end of the video here. I mean, sorry that I kind of rambled on a little bit, but let me know what you guys think. I'm really excited. I got a big announcement video coming up tomorrow, and then I got some really interesting things coming up. Big series that I hope to get out coming when I get home, and finally going to get some gameplay for you guys. So thank you for sticking around. Thank you for the support lately. It's been immense. Make sure you guys follow me on Facebook and Twitter, keeping up that trend. Just get some engagement. If you have anything you want to say about the market in the comment section below, please leave it there. Love discussions with you guys, but most importantly, make sure you like and subscribe. But most importantly, stay wise.